Hope you're having a great day. Today, I wanted to bring you a very key important lessons in finances, which you should not avoid, and at the same time, always keep these things in mind before you're making any big investments. At the same time, stay cautious in each and every move you make on your daily interactions with your finances. It's a wonderful book, and then there are some of them, maybe some of them you may know, some which is very good, and then it's always good to reflect and give your thought. Never do a business or a telephone calls unless you initiated it. Let me repeat that again. Never do any business on a phone call unless you have initiated it. It's very important. We get a lot of calls, as you may be aware, random spam calls, junk calls, random messages, and click here, click there, and people calling you and telling you that you had to update your KYC, you need to update your documents, so on and so forth. And then banks very often sends the messages that they will never initiate those things. So, and then we fail to understand the basic things, and we get tempted, and then we click on the links which we shouldn't be clicking it, unless until if there is anything which, if you believe that's from the bank, go back to your online banking and see, log into your banking details and then see if there is really any message that which reflects you need your attention. Then you go back to your branch and then do the necessary formality. But it's nothing online, nothing someone forces you to do or take an action, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure there's a lot of, as I'm putting this data around, there's a lot of, the fake junk, and things happen, and then people lose a lot of money. That's one thing. So always make sure that you never initiate any business over a phone unless until you initiate it first, and then the follow-ups are happening. That's a different case altogether. But pay attention to that. Always watch your account details often or once in a while to make sure that there is no any suspicious activities which is happening in your account, or else the charges which is being debited from your account. And that's the best way to look at also number of cars, number of charges is being posted over a year. And a question, do you really require that many accounts, that many cars where you're paying for the services? So if you really find that there is a ways that you can reduce, find a ways to reduce. But if it is absolutely necessary, then closely watch all the interactions and charges which your bank puts on your account. It may seem a small hole, small tiny bit, but it makes a lot over a period of time. Look, go back and check your yearly statement and see how much you paid in the term of those services for the entire year, and see and evaluate if that really you require those particular services. Before making any big investments, always I suggest to give a 3 months time frame. At 3 months, that's the bare minimum before you make any big investments, big decisions. Involve your family members that the decision you are about to take, and explain them this is what you're about to do it and how it's going to impact. So if one thing, you're bringing the entire family together so that they are in line with your objectives. Second thing is, if any glitches happens in the future also, they will be able to support you, maybe not financially, but at least as a moral support, as a family member, they probably support you. Unless until you take your own decisions, and probably they're not aware, and then the expenses from their side probably it's continues to grow up, and then you are unable to explain those things to your family members for the decisions you took because you didn't involve them in the first place. So there are many aspects to it. So before you're making any decisions, always check with your immediate family members, not the entire relatives. I'm talking about immediate family members. What is your goal, and how you as a family member is trying to accomplish? Like, but purchasing a house is a big ticket item in anybody's life. So there you really need the entire family members. First, to start with your wife, if parents are supporting your parents, if your kids are education, there's so many things involved. So make sure that any big purchase is first give enough time. Second is involve the immediate family members, the purchase you're about to make, and how it's going to impact them, and what is the commitment you are taking as a family member for over a period of time. It's very important because a lot of problems arise when we don't communicate effectively. There are things may go wrong, but at the same time, if you have some more support from your family members, probably that will probably ease you up and your mental stress, as the years progress, because the big ticket items are going to take your time, your energy. And first of all, you really need to analyze, is this what you really want, entire family members? Or else, if you're all by yourself, you still need to take calls. There's always a thing. That when we get sick, we go to the hospitals, we take a professional help, and someone say, okay, you need to get operated here, and then we go for second advice, third advice. Why don't we do those things in our financials? Also, same thing. Yes, absolutely, you have to pay for those services, but at least take a different view from a different perspective. Someone you never knew, go to a professional help, same like you go to a different doctor, and he doesn't need to know entire your history. He just sees the problem, where do you stand, what is the issue, what is the solution. It's going to tell you this is going to charge. Okay, take a second opinion, take a third opinion. Yes, you need to pay, but before you take a big ticket items for your future, it's always take a professional help to see from their view, because there are many things you are not aware. They can tell you. Yes, absolutely, you have to pay that, but it's okay in order to know where you're heading, rather than not knowing where you're heading and then you're doomed and then you're taking your family members with you in that process. So it's always take a professional help, but at the same time, take a professional help, but take your own decisions, because end of the day, they're looking aerial view from far, but you know your limits, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know which profession you are in, what are your the future prospects, what are the challenges you may go through, what is the risk you have if you're the only family breadwinner for your family, what are the risks it may hold in a private jobs, and so on and so forth. So there are many aspects to it before you take a big decision. I hope that helps, and I wish you the best. And some of these areas you really need to pay attention and take a calculated analysis and calculated risks at the same time, because sometimes it is said that unless until you take a marginable debt, you're not going to create an assets. But at the same time, it should not come at the cost of your peace of mind, a peace of your mind of your family members. You can always slowly build given your enough time. Thanks for watching. Hope that helps, and talk to you soon.